Hey, Conan fans, this is Matt. A little out of time here, or out of time sequence. I am in early May right now, and I probably won't post this video until later in the month, maybe. But I'm here because I'm in the middle of recording other videos, and I'm not going to post this because I don't want to disrupt my current flow with those videos. So what am I recording? I am recording a treehouse fort that I built in Conan Exiles. And I wanted to give a little tour of it in the state that it is, because I know in the future, as I unlock more things, it will change. Currently, I might as well get into here. In the challenges, I have been unlocking pieces of what is it? The Zingaran camp. It started off with a few walls. Way back, wow. The wall corner and the little wall. Yeah, there it is. The little wall pieces and foundation. And I started building a little fort in an area I thought was kind of appropriate. I didn't have a gate. I did unlock the gate, but I still do not have a door. I combined my fort with a treehouse design since I hadn't built a treehouse using the treehouse foundation before, and I found a superb location for any first-time players looking for a place to build a base. And I will show why. We are in a region, let's see, we are, yes, just like immediately to the east of Sepamaru. That's my treehouse fort. In an area that anybody who's played this game is pretty familiar with. This is where they're got the religious temple district or whatever of Sepamaru, just down the hill from the bar where you can find Conan. Why did I choose this place? Well, I looked over and I was just happened to be passing through the area, and I noticed the giant tree, and I thought, I haven't done a treehouse type of build before, and that appealed to me. And I also had I was unlocking those fort pieces, and I thought, well, what if I put a fort around the bottom of it? That's kind of cool. So that's what kind of the impetus for the design. But it wasn't until after I'd already started building that I realized what a great location this is for a starting base. The valley is littered. I mean, there are plenty of little plants. There are plenty of trees that will regenerate or respawn after you cut them down, and lots of rock. But tons of coal and iron, the building blocks of any first-time builder. In terms of building materials and stuff you can craft, this valley is just littered with it. And because it's both coal and iron, it's a great resource in both regards. And the other part of the reason why I liked it, you got a couple of animals here if you're interested in hunting for food, but there's nothing down here that is threatening at all. If you go up the hill, you can find some scorpions up here. I've seen quite a few scorpions spawning up here in this little corner, but other than that, nothing down here to threaten you. There's no rain here. It's very dry. I haven't had one of the big storms come through here either. The only thing that this doesn't have, this little valley, and it's also right out the back door of Sepamaru. So if you're interested in getting thralls, the town is full of thrall capable bodies. And then of course there's the tons and tons and tons of treasure chests that are on top of buildings and spires, and you can see them. They're all over the place. You just climb up here, grab treasure chests for all sorts of furnishings and loot and gold and everything else that you're interested in. The only thing this valley doesn't have is water. All the water is over the hill. Oh, not here. Here we go. All the water pools are on this side of the hill, but I really, really love this tree, and it's just completely circled by the cliffside, and it just was an excellent place to start building. So let's start off I'm going to give a little tour of what I built up here. First off, I've got what is this called anyway? A rock. Quarry of Pain. This is my thrall generator, and it's a pretty big one. I've gotten at least 6 thralls on here at a time. I don't know what the maximum capacity is. I haven't tested it. I wanted to make it look realistic, so I put like the barbed fencing around it, so nobody's gonna make a bolt down the rock side on it. Put a little tent there, or a little just for a little look. I got my trainer there too. Right now I don't have anybody working on it. Everybody has currently been converted. But I like that little cliffside there. And if you're not using a mod, because that's where that came from. It came from a mod that I downloaded. I would have put the wheel of pain up there. It would still fit. Down here, I wanted to create like a fenced-in grazing area for livestock, and so I'd already built the small animal pen, and I found out, they have all these gazelles and things that are running around, and I was hoping to get one of these like kudzu type of things, and so I found a baby someplace and brought them over here, and it turns out all the fawns that you convert don't convert into those gazelles; they convert into like white-tailed deer, which I was not expecting. So I got a bunch of these white-tailed deer in here. And I decided, well, heck with it. Let's go get some horses and some other animals I could put in this little grazing pen. The fence worked great, the basic fence. I managed to circle a whole area. I could put a camel in there too. But because I needed to raise those, the steeds, they need stables. They can't use the animal pen. So I had to bridge in a little stable there. And I just had some different things. It went all the way around until I got to the top, and it wouldn't. I couldn't fence that in, so I ended up having to build a little foundation. Made it kind of look like an old wrecked ruin. Put the animals in there. So that's all this is. It looked like an area that would have been nice for grazing. There was a lot of foliage in there, a lot of little grass tufts, and then the boulders. I chose not to mine them to make it look a little more natural. So that's my little garden area. Over here I have an outside work area because there's not a lot of room in the fort. I figured the wooden, any kind of lumber mill, there's not that many trees here anyway. So I didn't choose to use the bigger carpenter's bench. And I put the tannery out here too because, the animals are here. So outside of my fort, part of it needed an extra foundation under it because it wouldn't build quite level. As you can see, this is on a hillside, so it was kind of a challenge to build. But I was simply let's just create a simple square around my tree. I got the rounded things unlocked, which aided that really well. But I didn't have a gate, so all I ended up doing was creating this with a corner. This corner over here used to be open, only because I couldn't do anything else about it. I knew I was going to unlock a gate at some point, and when I unlocked it, I tried putting it in here. I tried about 4 or 5 different things. I just couldn't get it to line up correctly. So I ended up building it out and expanding my fort by an extra row in both this row and this column. Let's give the tour of the inside now. Oops. All right. We got a little walk. I'm going to start with the fort, and then we'll move up to the treehouse. We've got some unlocked characters. The walls themselves, I love these walls. They're so tall. I mean, this is the natural wall, and it is a good, towering wall. I really, really like the look of it. It looks rustic. It doesn't look like a Wild West fort. It really does look like a nice fantasy fort. I combined that with some different sandstone-looking rocks, and of course there's the giant tree right in the middle. And I'm just going to go around here. I decided to build some of it up because one of the first things I built was a smelter, or a furnace. And so I have somebody in here working constantly, doing that. And I couldn't use the bigger blacksmith's bench. I just had to use the basic one, and it fit in here perfect, just like a glove. So that's where this is where the ironwork happens, in this tiny little room. The design of the fort would have been better in my eyes if they actually had an interior wall as well, because look at this empty space you can't cross. You also can't put walls here. You can build walls up to the fort line, but you can't build them along the edge, which is kind of disappointing. So you end up with these weird gaps. That is the gate, and that fills it in nicely, but you can't build anything else in this space, so it looks kind of gorky. You also can't build right into the corner either, and so I was kind of irritated by that. I found that I could use the semicircular wedges, like the circle pieces that would make a complete circle if you put four of them around. They, I discovered a way of doing it. I'll explain it when I get up there. Well, actually, I could do it right here. I found what I wanted to do was let me see if I can find it. One of these had insulated wood. No. Where are you at? No. Think so. Nope. I must have just missed it. Was it in here and I just didn't see it? It must be. So it's got all the circular pieces. Oh crap, where are you at? There it is. I wanted to put these little wooden pieces down there, but it wouldn't let me build them into the corners. It might not let me build it there because of... No, it should, because there's nothing there. As you can see, it won't let me place it in there. So I kept experimenting, and I said, well, I don't really want to use these stone ones because they don't match, because everything here is wooden. I didn't want to use these tile-looking ones, and it let me place them. It wouldn't let me place the wooden one in there, but it let me place the tile one in there. So I thought that was really weird. And of course, with Conan Exiles, you have the ability to replace pieces with other pieces of the same type. So I just said, oh, let's try it. Let's see if it works. Oh, no, I lost it again. There it is. And boom. So I couldn't build it in that place, but I can replace the existing one in there. So that's what I did with the above area. Well, I'll get to that in a bit. So anyway, in here is my little furnace area. I was going to put the kitchen up in the treehouse, but all these things are like rock and stone, and it just didn't look right putting that on top of a wooden floor. So I decided, well, I better put the kitchen on the ground floor too. So that's what I did. I got a stove there, and I got a spit roast there. I put the other kitchen items. I don't know what this is going to be. I couldn't decide if it was going to be the like latrine area or if it's going to be a pantry, but whatever. I just built around. I decided to build a little room over here. So this is where some of the other stuff is. The garrison bench is there, and I got the artisan table there. And then we go back around into the entryway, which is going to have a door once I unlock it. It worked kind of nice. It's just a few little areas, nothing really major. I needed a stairway up. I found a way to make it work. I created a nice little a walkway that completely goes around the whole fort. It turns out it was really nice. I started off using triangular pieces, and then I realized I could do the whole thing with squares once I figured out how to do the corners, and that worked out perfectly. So now I'm only using square pieces. Under here, we got a little storage area above the woodworking, or not woodworking, the metalworking floor below it. So I thought, I had that empty space there. I decided, I'm going to use it. The downside of this fort is that, yes, this level works nice, but it doesn't allow my people to see over the fence line. So I said, well, I have some half stairways. I wonder if they'll work. And they did. The half stairs allow people to look out over the fort wall. So I just scattered those around basically every other space. So that's the areas where people can, go up and look over. Courtyard down into it. Oh, this is nice. This is happening at night. I got a little garden area over here with the planters. I got the little compost heap there and the grinder. So all that area is kind of like farming. This area gets quite a bit of sun. Back around, and there's the stairs. Essentially, that's all that's here. I did put a a little beehive in there too as well, because I keep finding every time I go out and harvest the plants, of course I get more bees. So that's the fort. Now let's go take a look at the treehouse, which was to me a lot more fun to build. I was happy, don't get me wrong, I was happy with the way the fort turned out. I'm thinking about expanding it, building. I can build little spurs out if it lets me. I do have some challenges to overcome because of the hillside. It's not the easiest thing. I can't really build it up any farther on this hillside. This is really about as high as it can go. I'm pretty sure it's not going to let me go up anymore. So I'm not sure exactly. I had most of the treehouse, or at least the skeleton of the treehouse, built, and I decided I really didn't want to have stairs going down. I wanted to take advantage of the elevator. So I found an area where I could build the elevator and built it down. It's not square. It doesn't line up. It's too close to this gate. This was not my first choice location for putting a gate. So you come in the gate and there's the stupid the stupid elevator. I really wanted the entrance to be over here, or maybe even here with an L shape into this area, but for whatever reason, I just couldn't get it to work. So let's give a tour of this elevator. So another thing I really, really liked about some of the stuff that I've unlocked is the Flotsam building set. Looks so good in this regard. I mean, look at this. The wooden, it's rough. They're using timbers and stuff from boats. That's what I use down below too. It looks like scavenged wood and how they would have used it, and it just matches everything perfectly. So that's kind of what I did as far as design-wise, what I was going for. So there's a mixture of wooden and sails underneath. Because this area doesn't get any rain, we have yet to have a rainy day here. I wasn't too concerned about, I would have loved to fill in all the gaps that are in some of these rooms, but the fact that we don't get any rain here probably means it's not that big a deal. So the sun helps light these rooms in the daytime, and at night I imagine having the empty little upper areas actually would probably be a nice cool place. I really love this treehouse. As rustic and as goofy as it looks, it really does work well. This is the one room I haven't done really, this floor, I haven't really done anything with. I wasn't sure if I was going to make this into a workroom. Probably I'm going to put some workstations in here because I have space for them. I can't utilize some of the ones that have really high things, so I'm probably going to have to use some of the more basic workbenches as opposed to the ones that are more elaborate. This is basically like a guest. I can turn this into like a guest bedroom, or I can make this into a meeting room, or it could just be another workroom. I don't even need the second wall, but it worked well with my design. The roof over there was perfectly, it worked out perfectly. It's completely sealed. I managed to create a completely perfect ceiling set for it. So that actually worked really nice. Stairs that go up. I love this. I'll tell you how I built this. I started with the very top and I worked my way down, I believe. Yes, I started at the top floor and basically came up with little creative spots where I could put staircases down, utilizing certain angles and so forth. And this was the last floor, and I was like, after I got this built, and I built it out a lot more than the other floors, it's a lot bigger, a lot more spacious. That's when I decided, at the time I didn't have this outer part, it was just to the edge. That's when I decided, well, that's a good place to put. I thought about this spot or this spot over here for an elevator, and this is where I ended up just choosing that one over the other. But anyway, yes, I did start this from the top and worked my way down. This room, again, is kind of a work room. It has some lookout spots. I got a little deck out here that looks out over the valley a little bit. It was a pretty good ceiling as well. It's almost entirely sealed except for the doorway. There's no door here. It just goes upstairs. But outside of that, it's pretty much entirely enclosed, which I liked. I can't put a door Well, I could put a door there, but it just, yeah, I kind of like the open look of it. Another platform, another room. So this is kind of the wet room. We have the bath. We've got laundry. We've got the little commode area, the chamber pot. That's pretty much what's in here. This is just the water room. Everything that needs water is going to have to be hauled up here because I don't have any other water source. But this is where the workers do all that business. Next floor up. This is the top of the treehouse. There are no more floors above this. I got my dancers out here to entertain guests and what is essentially the master bedroom area. Fancy bed storage area. It's a little low ceiling. It's mostly enclosed. Got a few gaps, but that's fine. I think this would be a very comfortable upper floor. And it's got a lot of nice furnishings in here. Treasure chest for all the junk I've been picking up in my explorations. I got lights out here to light up the place at night. And now we can take a look at it from the outside. I really like the way it came out. There's a few little spots I wish I could have done a little different, but for the most part, it worked out pretty well. I wish they had a couple of different choices for windows. The little port windows that's the window for the Flotsam set. I love that, but it gets to be a little repetitious and you can't really see a whole lot out of it. So I kind of wish they had an alternative window. That would be kind of a nice feature, but they don't have that. So as you can see, I started with this. So I chose the highest spot I thought I could build on, put a foundation there. I built out this floor, kept building it out, put another foundation and another foundation. I decided, okay, here's about where I could put some stairs down. Built this room out. Continued to spiral around the tree, another staircase down, another foundation, another small staircase down to the lowest area that I thought, and it happened to be above wall level, and that's basically how I designed it. I didn't start off, basically, you're doing the platforms first, then I put in the walls, then I tried to figure out any kind of way I can do ceilings and make it have any kind of sense at all. I love the Flotsam set because you do have the mix. You can use the wooden roof pieces if you want, or you can throw in the stitched sail ones, and I just like that look. It's light, it's airy, and it turned out really nice, I think. And the fact that there's a fort below it, I mean, this is who doesn't love a good tree house, and who doesn't love a good fort? And this is a tree house with a fort. And it's a great location. I think that anybody that's new to this game and is looking for a place, because I have built several homes in this map, and they're all lacking something. And it's like if you were playing the game legitimately without cheating, without using the console commands to do all the stuff you want to do and just generate stuff, the fact that this valley is so littered with iron, stone, and coal, and all the basic building blocks of a starting home base are here. And it's incredibly safe. There's nothing threatening. Yes, if you go out into the desert, you're going to find scorpions. And if you go out, and we're just a stone's throw away from the old city area here. So, I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff in there. But in terms of your immediate environment, this is a pretty secure and safe spot to build. This is the only city in the entire game where everybody doesn't attack you on sight. So you can just chill out a little bit, and you can hang out on this side of town at least without having all the residents attack you. Yeah, you come over to another part of town and they're going to attack you, but still, the benefits far outweigh any negatives there might be in this vicinity. So, I don't know what you guys think. Leave something in the comments and let me know. Like I said, this is a work in progress, like all of my builds. I haven't done anything different. I'd love to show you what my current home base looks like. This is not my full home base, but I've been spending the better part of the last week basically playing the game 2 or 3 times a day, maybe. Just, it could be for as little as an hour or as much as several hours. And I finally got this built the way I like it. And I'm really happy with this. There's some things I want to do. I want, obviously I don't have a gate. The gate is going to be unlocked pretty soon. Um, I'm at 49 right now, and the gate is up at 57. And the current challenges expire in 3 days. If I go through those challenges, that should get me the gate. As long as the 3 challenges they give me are ones I can do. And 60 is the cap. 60 is the max. So I'm getting basically done with this whole tier. So I'm looking forward to that. But other than the gate, there doesn't look like there's anything else in there for the fort. So I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with it. I do kind of want to build this out. I wish they had a tower or something, some kind of a tower build, because I would like to put like towers in the corners. So I might experiment with some different things. I don't think there's anything circular with the Flotsam set. No, it's all pretty square. But I might look around at some of the other sets that are primarily wood and maybe try to find something that has a rounded tower design, because I'd like to have some towers, guard towers or something, instead of just the walls, because the walls are nice, but having a built-in tower, at least 2 towers, one on opposite sides, 4, for each, if I did one for each corner, 4 would be cool. But I kind of like the round design too. It's not a deal breaker. Basically this treehouse essentially acts as a tower. But I'm not sure archers being, here are really much of a defense. And as you can see, there's only so much you can do on these things. So, I don't know. I want it to be fairly realistic looking. I like my campsite so far, and I don't really have any designs out here. I'm not going to turn this into a big fortified valley the way I did my other valley. But, that's what I got so far. I'd love to hear what you think. If it looks good. If you think it looks stupid, well, you can keep your comments to yourself. But I really enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed this set. Unlocking these has been nice. And I love the Flotsam set. Ever since I got into SIPTA and I unlocked that, I've been using that a lot for my little campsites. I've got quite a few in the new ones built. Oh yeah, I can give you a quick. Let me see. I built a few new camps around the map. Okay, I'm on cloak. My Elephant Ridge camp. Oh, this area has tons of these elephants spawning, and I keep killing baby elephants because they keep wandering over here and rubbing up against all my spikes. But as you can see, that's a pretty well defended edge. Watch the elephant. Watch his health. He just walks into this, sticks himself. It's like, seriously? They're here to be a deterrent, and yet they keep rubbing up against it. And if he stays over here long enough, he'll die. The adult ones don't usually die, but the babies will come over here and just get themselves stung. Anyway, it's not much of a camp. I was just in the area, and I thought, I like that little indentation, little cave-like area here. And so I just built up a wall, built up a ceiling, a very simple campsite. And I decided to extend it a little farther, and I had to do some rebuilds, but it actually works pretty well since I can walk right through there. And again, the ability to do some basic resource work. So that was one of my little campsites that I built recently. I had to remember to ping them on the map, because I sometimes build them and then I forget where I put them if I didn't mark them right away. Where else did I build? Let's see. My pork barbecue location. I love this site. So it's just on a little ledge in a built off of this ruined wall, bridge. I don't even know what you call it. Most of them don't make any sense, and there's not nearly enough rubble. But it was this little platform area. I thought, oh, this is nice and secure. So I decided to build myself a little bed area. And then I got my lots and lots of pork and meat. Why did I do that? Because every time they tell me, give me a quest that I have to kill these boars, I have to come out here. There are tons and tons of boars here, including a couple of those giant ones. And I ended up with all this meat and killing all these animals and killing all the wolves in the nearby area and killing all whatever they want me to kill. Ends up with all this meat, and I didn't want to just leave it behind. It just seems so wasteful. So I decided I better build a little camp where I can process the meat. And I figured, well, 4 campfires can do 4 times the work. So I put 4 campfires in here and get them all burning while I'm out here trying to find the stupid giant pigs to kill, because they usually want me to kill 3 of them. So anyway, that's what I did here. Again, I have the deterrence down here that sometimes the pigs will walk into them, but there's that little campsite. Okay, the Riverside one. I haven't done much with the big Riverside camp. I cleaned it up a little bit since the last time I recorded anything, but I still haven't replaced all of the walls. I hated that. But I did do a lot of stuff with this one. Remember, I built this using this archaic kind of temple, like old ruin design, and it was just basically a simple cave, and I didn't do anything with it. It was like abandoned. Well, I decided I'm going to spice it up a little bit. So I put some kind of weird exotic plants around the outside, basically just for decor, and some extra little rubble piles to make it even look more like a ruin. Put a door on it, and then I created a spot where maybe a smuggler might be. This is kind of like a smuggler den. He's got all these he's got a supply crate, barrels and stuff, a tanning rack that's visual, not functional. Some religious artifacts on the wall, somebody that's superstitious and warding off any spirits. I got this mattress and pillows, which I really liked, so I thought I'd throw that on the floor. Got a little dice and a cup and so forth. Well, maybe he just tries to fill some time gambling. Simple little campfire cooking setup. Very simple kind of setup. I thought that was kind of nice. It filled it out more than just leaving a big empty room there. Again, it just feels like, maybe a smuggler was here. I also threw in a bunch of shallow graves up above to make it look like, well, some people either ran afoul of the place or somebody ended up getting killed or died. Who knows? Disease. Let's see. There's the Iron Cave. Did I do any other? Those are all ones I've done a while ago. Oh, the Wolf Cave. I wonder if that's a... Yeah, that's not a new one either. There we go. Oh yeah, I just threw this one together too, using again the Flotsam set. This is again just basically a wolf cave. I put a bed in there and some walls. It's pretty much in one little campfire. Then I decided, well, I'm going to build out the outside a little bit, and I put this slanted ceiling piece here. It's kind of a deflector, makes it a little more visible from a distance, right next to the stream. I love finding those little caves when they're not being used by a critter and just turning it into a little makeshift campsite. And nothing gives me more pleasure than just throwing together a little campsite. I haven't done a whole lot with my home base, but I might as well give you a quick look at what I have done. I did this one. Oh God, it's got to be over a month ago. I basically had the tower is a pre-built graphic. It just put it in there and it's there. It looks nice, but there's things you can't do with it. For instance, these are not considered walls. It's considered an object. So if you have shelves or something that needs to hang from a wall, or like a lantern that you attach to a wall, can't attach anything to these. So that kind of sucks. Floors are okay. Basically, I turned this into a blacksmith's bench, and I have the smelter out here. Why? Because there is tons of iron all over the place here. It's the one thing this little campsite was decent for. You got a couple of coal sources, but lots of iron. And so I decided, well, let's just turn this into a little workstation. Of course, we got ladders to the next floor. Here's the cooking area. Put in some hanging. I can't hang stuff from it, but I can't put anything on the wall, so it's kind of disappointing about that. But yeah, here's the kitchen. Going up. This is just a platform. And then there's the bedroom area, and this place is basically set up with, like 2 people who man this outpost. Of course, I haven't found anybody yet and trained them. You figure one of them's doing the cooking, one of them's doing the smithing or the forging, so maybe 3 people could actually man this place if you have one person on guard duty and 2 of them working. I guess I did build this up too. I didn't fully flesh out the interior, but I did create an exterior that I kind of liked. I can get in, but I can't get out. All right. I liked using the slanted walls of that set, and I thought that looked really nice. So from the outside, this looks pretty imposing. I managed to fill the space. Stairways, but as you can see, I didn't do any decor, and I haven't actually created the rooms on the interior yet. I'm basically trying to give it a shape. Once I have the shape, then I can decide to do what I want with the interior walls. Single floor versus the double floor. The double floor gives you a lot more space to work with. I don't think I did anything on this side yet. I think it's still pretty much wide open. Yeah, I think I showed this off in the last video. I have the little horizontal elevator. Okay. Anything else that I do? Didn't do anything with that. I decided to do away with stupid loud ass music. Yes, I don't know your ominous music is relating to, but I decided to get rid of the gate. I'm in the process of kind of building a tower here, but not built yet. Yes, get on with it. Jesus. But I haven't obviously it's not finished. I did do quite a bit of work with the rest of my fort, though. I got this gate kind of built the way I want it. Elevation up, overhang for defenses, boom, 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 some arrow spots, looking inward, nice little spots there. Around here, oh crap. Oh, it looks like I built over the access point. I'm going to have to fix that. See, there's a door here, and I built over the door. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. Because I have the flaming cauldron defenses here for anybody that decides to come in through that door and is against us. I thought that was kind of nice. I didn't even realize I covered up my door. Oh, that's great. That's great. I might have to expand that. That's no problem. I'll just expand this out another column. It looks a little more even that way anyway. I got this thing built up. I don't know if I had this done the last time I made a recording, but with interior defenses, different staircases. It's not a lot of rhyme or reason, and this building isn't finished. I have no idea what I'm going to do on top. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I have plenty of floors. I could just close it off and put a roof on it, but I do have a staircase that comes up here, so I don't know. I should do something. All for the defenses of the gateway. I did open this up a little bit, so now this is also manable along the riverfront, and an access point that comes into the defenses here. I want to go back outside and show you what it looks like outside first. It's not the tower I originally envisioned, but it is a very fortified one. Staircases that keep you going up and up and up, and eventually over the top of the door, the gateway. It was a very trial and error system, but I liked it. It ended up a lot nicer than I thought it was going to look. Very nicely defended, though. If you had a whole garrison force It's not real high here. Originally, I intended to make this a whole tower, but this is not exactly the tower I had originally built. Along the wall here, I thought those looked really great. That's just wall defenses. And I decided to kind of mirror that on the other side slightly. But I like the idea of, I wanted an area where there was actual, some kind of a roof. And this building type, this little tassel, I don't know what it would be, not a turret, but a little canopy thing, put a bunch of those little canopy things next to each other, and it actually created, other than the interior pillars, kind of a nice covered space. And a spot for archers. Plenty of angle there. This is on the outer wall, and this over here is the inner wall with the gap in between. So I created a few bridges so they could get over there, and another area that goes up to what I really like, the burning cauldron of this gate. Is relatively hidden, but if you come under here, there is one of these on both sides, and the good thing is it's very effective. It works. It's pretty cool. The downside is that if you dump one on one side, it lights on fire the other side, so it's not perfect, but it's a pretty cool defense. Down below, I finally encapsulated this little area to create basically two storefronts. I figure I'll put some kind of a stall here. So this will be like one store, and over here will be another store of some kind. And I'm going to have to put some like wagons. There's a bunch of graphic sets that have like merchant wagons and stalls and so forth. And I'm going to try to fill this up with most of that. Otherwise, I got that area built. I decided to carry the theme around the corner because there's the tower. And I went with all my towers. I found a bunch of different cauldron things, and hanging in there kind of lights them up so at nighttime it glows through the windows, which I really thought was cool. After I built these, I decided, well, might as well put another set up and have it go right up against the tower. Kind of like the way that looked. I mean, that's a pretty cool design, I think. And that was part of the reason why I didn't make this a tower over here, is because it kind of took away from this tower. I like this as kind of being more of a main tower, and this is basically just defensive turrets. This is much more impressive than the next one, too, so I didn't do anything real fancy on this gateway. It's just simply basically a hallway on top instead of a bunch of defenses. And this tower, again, is largely just a spiral, different kinds of spiral staircases inside that comes out on top. So it's mostly just a military tower, whereas this one's got a little more oomph to it. There's the rooms in there are a little more elaborate. I'm in the process of building a stable here. I like the stable building parts, but the only thing it doesn't have is a roof. There's no roof pieces to the stable graphic set. And I haven't tried experimenting with some of the other wooden designs, but I'm in the process of getting this built as a stable. I got some tigers here I need to find a home for. Excuse me while I change the time of day. I also finally did some work on the big tower. The big square block tower. Again, this is what it looks like, well lit up with the flaming little cauldrons that I put in the upper part. It really shows through the windows. And it's a lot higher than the other tower. I had a staircase over here I took out when I started building the stable, and I will replace it, but for now, ground floor is basically just going to have some storage space. I have worked and worked at trying to get these floors to be a little more, I don't know. The problem is I'm using foundation pieces as walls, and that really makes very little space in here. If I replace these with walls, they would have more interior space, but they'd also be very much more fragile to assault. And I wanted at least the lower part of this castle or tower to have nice thick walls. From here, you can get access to a couple of things. One, this is the over the waterfall, and eventually goes up into the next area. This takes you to the next floor, which is also has a staircase down here. Do you really need two staircases just to get to this tiny little room? Probably not, but again, what I'll probably end up doing at some point is deciding which one of these I want to keep and get rid of the other one, which will, see, if I get rid of this staircase here, that creates so much more floor space, a whole extra 3 foundations worth of floor space right now are being wasted. So, oops, didn't mean to do that. Floor down. But if you don't want to take the staircase, or take that, there's supposed to be a staircase here. I must have removed it for some reason. Oh, no, I didn't. I did replace it, but I was going to have to fill it back in. I decided to go a different route with my staircases. Like I said, it's work in progress. I haven't gotten it all the kinks worked out. This is basically the battle level. This is the level below the roof that has all the stations where you put your archers, and it goes all the way around the tower, which is why this floor is so small. And then up here, it's kind of like the meeting hall. This is like, you have a commander standing around a table looking at maps of the surrounding area. The only bad part about this graphic set is that the windows, you can see through them, but it's not quite the same as having a big open area that you can look out clearly. They don't have an alternative. It's either the big glass windows or a solid wall. Again, this is largely wasted over here. It's just an extra little running area. And this goes outside. This is how you access the outer wall over the waterfall. It's the only access point to this floor, to this area. Everything up above is just decor, basically. It's above the ceiling, so. Across the way, still haven't done anything with this big area other than build a little, I don't know, a shrine or a warning bell. I haven't decided which. I did enclose some areas because, again, I'm like, oh, how am I going to build this? What am I going to do? Am I going to use this graphic set as my base, or am I going to use the stuff from the wall? I just haven't decided. Those I already had built and already showed those. I'm pretty sure I showcased all of this. I'm not sure. I had this one built, but I don't think I had it all enclosed. It was pretty rough when I was here before. But the ceilings, again, adds some unique characteristics. And I love the glass windows. I love that graphic set. It's very, I don't know, ominous, but pretty slick. Floor here. Another full floor here. And in so many ways, this tower is so much more spacious than that giant tower on the other side. This takes you all the way down the wall, as well as to the other little tower. Couple stairways up. This one takes you to the rest of the tower. I don't have the staircase built yet, but that's where that'll be. And this full room here. Bathroom. So whoever is running this tower, that's their living space, basically. I already showed this. A little campsite. Since I've already showed all the rest of this, might as well show everything else that I've been doing. All of these were built. I don't think there's anything new down here. All these buildings I'd already built. My lumber yard. I've got these more furnished now. Than they were before. I put in some workstations. I got some of them manned. The bedroom area. I might have already shown this off. I'm not sure, but I do know that I got these a little more completed. So we got the like alchemist shop here, or whatever, the little curiosity shop. You got the lumber mill area there. We've got the iron works here, the blacksmith and the smelter. And over here we got basically the tannery workstations, because they're and the saddle maker, because they're adjacent to the little stable. Again, I know I've shown all that off before. I got some fishing, my little passive fish traps there, which I should be emptying. I put in a little torii gate. I wasn't sure if I'm going to put these walls up or not. That's all that stuff. So I started looking at other areas that I could build, and keeping the same graphics set alive, I decided to build on top of this hillside. Simple little thing there. I'm still not exactly sure if this is going to be my floor plan or not, but this is what I have right now. It's a big area, maybe a tavern. I might segment this up into walls and hallways to make smaller rooms. I don't know. I have room I can grow. As you can see, I wasn't exactly sure how far out I was going to go, or if I want to build this out some more. I don't know. But I like this little... There we go. We got the kind of jets out on one side. These, as functional as they are relatively boring to look at. They don't have a lot of exterior, things aren't sticking out of them. They're basically just big boxes. And I wish I could create this kind of a feel with the other sides instead of just having these big solid wall faces. So that's kind of what I was looking at with this. I wanted something that had a different... I didn't want big flat walls on every side, so I created this little outlet here, this little outlet on this side, which kind of keeps it from looking so boxy. This side is still one giant box on this side, so not exactly sure what I'm going to do with that. So interior wise, I got a little staircase there and then this big double staircase, so this could be a whole other floor up here. Or I could create balconies around the outside so it's overlooking an interior. Again, I don't know what I'm doing with this space. This could be a big bar. If I'm going to do it like a bar, then I'm not going to build a big floor. I'll build I'll build around the outside like an overhang. But if I'm going to make this into more of a traditional building, then I'll probably put floors on it. But I'm not exactly sure how high I'm going to go, which is why I didn't build this wall up any higher. I don't think I'm going to put another floor above this because I want the tower to stand out. Part of this design was I wanted to create a legitimate round tower, and again, this creates access to this floor if I don't want to use the double staircase. And it goes up. Got the door, which basically it worked out perfectly. I created one little platform, put a door on it. This is the one thing I wasn't able to do with my tower in the main base, my main building. And I'm just kind of learning as I do it. The only thing I don't like is there's no top on this. There's no round, cone-shaped top for all of these round towers. So you end up with basically what it looks like here. You end up with a half circle that you can stand on, and the other half circle, which is a staircase that goes down into the rest of the tower. And I'm not real happy with that. The only other way around it is to put a ladder up, but they don't have a ladder. You can't put a ladder through anything but the square door, the square hatch. So that doesn't work either. This is not really a defensive tower. It's basically more scenic than anything else because it overlooks the entire inner compound of the castle. But anyway, I was using it more as a learning tool. I wanted to see what I could do with the tower and create like floors. I didn't want to have a bunch of floors because, again, I wasn't making this into that big. It's going to be relatively low. It's going to have this second floor, but I don't think I'm going to build a third floor, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to finish that out. Work in progress, as everything else is. I have not as many grandiose plans as I have for the main base. I still haven't finished most of the stuff I wanted to do. Other than move some of the people out, I haven't done as much as I'd like. I'm still in the process of moving people out, moving workstations out. I have done some of them, but I have not done as much remodeling as I intended. Still an empty treasure room in there. This whole floor I love. I had nothing changed in here. Everything is still pretty much the way I designed it and the last way you've seen it. I put a few more things on walls, a few more animal heads. Other than that, it's pretty much been... I'm very happy with the design, but there is a lot of graphics in there. I did one new thing in this compound. I finally cleared out the area that I had stables in before, my little animal pen area, and I built this monstrosity using the full arena set with the rounded tunnels and stuff in it. That's basically what I built in that space. What I want, or what I intend to do, is get rid of all of these big thick foundation walls that are in here and replace these with the simple one, the little outer walls, making bigger rooms. Basically, these are all going to be increased size of these rooms, because this is basically turned into my like prison area. I was just kind of playing around with this. I like the idea of the little round tunnels. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a sewer area. So I have these two prison cells, one here and one over here, that are pretty much identical or mirror images of each other. Now imagine if I filled up one of these entire caverns with just nothing but this little network of little tunnels. I think that would be kind of an interesting design. Unfortunately, they have these vertical parts and these horizontal ones, but they don't really have good transit. They have transitional, like this is a three-way transition that has a wall on one side, and they have bends, because that's a bend right there. They don't have any way of going vertical. So you can put tunnels on multiple levels, but there's no way of connecting them up unless you have these like areas that I've, like here. So obviously somebody, stays in here. I put a ladder up and that worked, and I can get to the second tier from that. Imagine an entire labyrinth of this. That'd be kind of fascinating. A lot of stuff you could do with these little tunnels. I really like them. This space just wasn't big enough, obviously. But it did what I wanted it to. Created a series of tunnels on 2 floors. I have to use another staircase to go up, using the dungeon hatch, which is another new graphic they added. I put the little half wall around it. Again, this is all the same graphic set. My original one, when I built the rest of that, I only had like 4 or 5 of the pieces. These actually are the additional ones they added to the set, and that made it a little more, a lot more flexibility, a lot more graphic, designs and options for you. So there's no like fort here. It's just a big empty flat space with holes that go down into the cells, and this, which is just a metal ceiling floor piece, so you can put those over areas as well. Otherwise, overhangs. They got these little gargoyle things as well, which I kind of liked. And then it ended up right next to the stairs for the other, or the platform for that. So I just, screw it. It doesn't fit perfectly. They're not aligned. As you can see, they're not aligned at all. But the staircase kind of more or less works. It's not not perfectly aligned, but it works. So it's just another area that I can access up here. So I don't know. Like I said, this is just me playing around with stuff, seeing what I can do with it. But I do think I'm gonna. Oh, those should be the same. Those should have windows either on the inside or the outside, but not both. I shouldn't have them alternating like that. I'll have to flip flop that. Other than having to replace walls here or replace foundations with walls, that's all pretty well. I haven't done anything over here. Lots of plans to do stuff, but I haven't done anything new. And I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm going to go back to my other fort just because that's where I'm kind of doing stuff right now. All right, I had a false ending before. Now I'm ready for the full ending. Hey, if you like what you see, or give me some encouragement or say what you like. I don't know about the game. I don't play the game a whole lot. I spend more of my time doing Conan Barbie dream houses, basically. Conan forts. I enjoy that part of it. I enjoy the building, the whole Sims idea of building a structure and filling it and then populating it with people and creatures and things, to me is a lot more interesting than the game that doesn't really have a point to it. There's no objectives and there's no explanations for half the stuff that they introduce, so I'm just spending and enjoying my time building, and that part of the game I'm loving. So that's all I got. Give me a thumbs up, give me some comments. I appreciate it.